everybody in the absence of information is filling that void of information with rumors that they're hearing, innuendo, and their creativity is working in all the wrong ways against the company and all the wrong ways against the leader. The leader needs to fill that void and say, look, I don't know beyond 3 weeks what's going to happen, but I've got you for 3 weeks. No one would, but they'd rather hear that than nothing, because then they're worried, am I going to get fired next Tuesday?
Right.
So I answered several questions at once, but I think the daily huddle is about operations. How are we going to get business? How do we handle our customers today? What issues are you having in billing that we need to tackle today? And the larger meeting, the town hall, is really about communicating survival and strategy during this time.
So I need to introduce you to Brandon Smith, who is another of our podcasters. He says, in absence of communication, people always assume the worst, which is essentially, just what you said. And another key, Kevin, that you pointed out is you said 10 to 15 minutes. Doesn't have to be 30, right. Doesn't have to be an hour, right? Because if we say, you need to do this every day, that can sound overwhelming. But if you think of it as just the 10-minute bite of, this is where we're at, this is where we're going, this is what we're focused on today, you really fulfill that void that your teammates are looking for.
Well, one of the things, I'm getting off subject a little bit, but I have a client who is, his company the industry they're in is undergoing change. So the owner has been trying to drive change in the company for a year or so. But this is really forcing them to act quickly, and they need to move faster. And so he's tapped one of his high potential leaders to form an interdepartmental team. They know each other, but they don't know each other. And so this new leader is trying to figure out, how am I going to speed things along? And there's a process that I've been through many times in my career. It's called a new team formation, or a new leader formation. It's where a team needs to accomplish things and they need to speed through some of the process of learning how to work together. And he's got to do that remotely. And a significant part of that is people work better when they know each other, when they have the opportunity to chit chat and get together and socialize it a little bit. It's harder to do remotely. So we were talking about, how do you have a coffee time remotely? I've heard of some people having cocktail hour over Zoom. Well, that's how you do things like this, is you're intentional and you're deliberate. You say, we're going to spend 15 minutes and we're just going to chit chat. We're going to get to know each other. It's valuable.
Yeah, I love that. Or quarantinis, as I've heard them called.
I've heard of that too, yeah.
Okay, so number 9, and I'm going to read this one a little bit because it's fantastic. I want to hear from you. Your team knows and sees things you don't. They can be an early warning system for you, but only if communication lines are open. Walk us through that.
I am a driver. I'm a recovering driver. There's nothing wrong with being a driver. Business needs drivers.
That's two confessions, Kevin.
Oh, wow. This is confession hour with Whitney for sure. Early in my career, what I saw happen is on a normal day when everything was running smoothly, I was a driver. Enough that I drove people crazy. So I was getting a lot of feedback. Thank God for some amazing people that I was around who gave me that feedback. But when there was stress, when there was a crisis, I went from crazy driver to crazy driver. I wanted to get things done. So I'd be the guy who'd be standing around like if there's a fire, I'm like the fire chief, go do this, go do that, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden and it's not that what I was suggesting was wrong. It might have been the very thing needed, but it was grossly impersonal. And it was fast and it was painful to hear. And if people said, well, Kevin, blah, 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 I don't have time to listen to you, just go do what I said. No, wait a minute. No leader knows enough to do everything.